Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody, depending on where in the world you are dialing in from today. My name is Tony Yang, and today I'm excited to talk to you about how to understand buyer journeys for B2B organizations. Let's jump right in. So first of all, a little bit about me. I have about 15 years of experience in B2B marketing across large companies where I started my career in marketing working at IBM and Yahoo, as well as in the last 14 or 15 years or so, I've been spending a lot of time in technology startups up in Silicon Valley. I'm also a mentor and coach at a couple of startup accelerator programs where I help many co-founders, entrepreneurs figure out how to figure out things like product market fit and messaging and go-to-market strategies. These days, I'm spending most of my time as a fractional CMO and marketing consultant for high-tech growth B2B companies, as well as the co-founder and CEO of RevOptica, which is a buyer journey visualization and analytics platform. Okay, so why are we talking about this today? Well, in my experience, I have found that the way that B2B companies buy from other companies is a very complex process. So if you've been in the B2B world, you're probably familiar with many of these reasons. For example, oftentimes when we're talking about enterprise type of offerings, B2B is not a transactional process. Sales cycles are long, oftentimes 3 months to 6 to 9 months, sometimes over a year. There are typically multiple stakeholders involved in the decision-making process. It's usually not just one person making the decision. And many times, there are a lot of touch points or points of engagements that take place over the length of the sales cycle that bring prospects down to the decision-making process where they end up becoming a customer. On the flip side, marketing organizations, as well as sales organizations within B2B companies, need to master an omni-channel approach to reach buyers. It's not just a single touch point or a single channel. We're trying to reach the prospects across a variety of different channels and methods to guide them down the process. A lot of times, these points of engagements are tracked in various systems. You may be using a CRM system such as Salesforce or HubSpot, marketing automation tools like Marketo, also HubSpot, Pardot, that's part of the Salesforce suite of products, and other marketing automation tools or sales engagement tools. There's plenty of tools that are available at our disposal today, but the challenge is we're tracking a lot of these activities across these various systems. And that's part of the reason why it's difficult to understand or get a complete view of buyer journey. So here's an example. This is an example that I'm going to show you where I had to put together a journey for a company that I used to work at. Basically, the CEO of the company came up to me one day and said, "Hey, Tony, we're about to close a deal with a pretty large account." Without revealing the name of the company, it was essentially a national digital healthcare company. And so I said, all right, let me figure this out. So what I did was I logged into our Salesforce instance, found this person, this guy named Nick, who was the main point of contact at this client. And then I went into the various systems of record within our CRM, within our marketing automation, and I found that, okay, this guy, Nick, his record in our systems were created back in May of 2018 from what I saw in the records from a list import. So probably what happened was one of our junior sales reps, basically a sales development rep, an SDR or BDR, was assigned this particular account. This SDR went into LinkedIn or one of our data tools, found this person, Nick, and uploaded this, Nick into our CRM and began a series of outreach. So over the course of this next several weeks, Nick was sent a series of emails, and from the activity logs, I was able to see that there was no response by Nick, no open emails, no clicks, no responses, which unfortunately these days is a pretty common scenario. And then as I dug deeper into his record and his activity log, I found that Nick was essentially dormant within our system for about a year until a year later, he came back because he clicked on a LinkedIn ad. I won't go into every single data point or a bullet point, sorry, bullet point here, but he basically clicked on a LinkedIn ad, came to our website, bounced around the various pages, and ended up filling out a request demo form, which then kicked off the back end notification to our SDR. The SDR reached out, did an initial qualification call, and basically set up a discovery call with one of our sales reps. And then about a week later, they set up a demo where I was able to see in the systems that Nick attended this demo along with 4 other people from his team. Now, what's interesting was what I did was I went back into each person's record that was part of Nick's team, and I found that, okay, they also had essentially a breadcrumb trail or a series of touch points where they engage with our brand. For example, this guy, Zach was part of Nick's team. And we found that at these points in time, looks like it was back in July 2019, Zach attended one of our webinars. And then a couple days afterwards, he began to engage with some of the email nurture programs or nurture emails that we had sent to him. Now, I also noticed that this person, Tara, who didn't necessarily work directly with Nick on his team, but she was part of the evaluation process. She actually talked to us way back in March of 2018, where she met us at a conference that we were a sponsor at. And she stopped by our booth, talked to a few of our people. And then following the event, one of our SDRs had reached out to her, right? And then a couple months down the line, she had downloaded an ebook. Then after the demo, what we were able to see was, all right, there were a few other meetings that took place, Zoom meetings with the evaluation team from this particular company. And then what I also noticed was there was a person named Drew who was a VP, essentially the main decision maker. And we found that this person, Drew, had attended a C-level dinner and participated in some sales calls and email with our sales rep. Now, this is a complete picture of how this particular company or a deal that we're working on with this company matriculated through time. And if you overlay that with the various stages of our funnel that we've been tracking, such as when Nick became an MQL, a market and qualified lead, somewhere along the time frame where he filled out a request and demo form, back in June of 2019, and then he became a sales qualified lead. And as the deal matriculated, you can see the various stages. This gives us a very rich picture or story of how this deal came to be. Now, why is this important? So I think there are a couple of reasons. One, having a visualization like this, helps us understand how each individual's prospect's point of engagement with your brand took place over time. It also helps give us a visualized time frame of how long it really took to close a particular deal. As you were able to see in the timeline, we are able to identify critical points of engagement that led to a milestone within the funnel of our sales cycle, such as when the deal hit a stage 1, an opportunity stage, or when we ended up closing the deal. What were the different touch points that took place that led to that? It also helped tells a story of, again, how this deal came to be. And something that, again, this was an exercise that I found myself doing time and time again. And once you begin to start doing these exercises to help understand how deals came to be, you'll be able to spot trends. For example, how many touch points does it normally take for a prospect to go down the buyer journey? You'll begin to understand what marketing campaigns are most effective at driving engagements with your prospects, as well as what kind of activities your best performing sales reps are performing. Right? So there's a lot of benefits when you undertake this sort of exercise. Now, how do I go about doing it? Well, as I just mentioned before, I went into the various systems, and found all the various data points that helps me understand the different touch points, who was involved in each of the deals. And I basically created a slide that showed a visual representation. You could use other tools such as Lucidchart. You could use other types of drawing tools. It doesn't really matter. This is just one way of doing it. Now, obviously, I'm very passionate about this whole concept, and I've been working on this particular product called RevOptica to essentially help you do this. And if you're ever curious, just go check it out, revoptica.com. Feel free to sign up there. Additional resources, if you're looking to learn about more about buyer journeys, I've written a couple of blog posts. You could simply go to revoptica.com/blog, or you could simply email me. You can see my email on the screen here, Tony@RevOptica. And I'm in the process of creating templates and examples, creating more content that will teach people how to do these things. Simply just email me if you like, and I'll be able to send those to you once they're ready to go. So hopefully you found this presentation helpful. Again, if you have questions, if you want to learn more, either reach out to me directly or go to the RevOptica website. Thanks.